My
It's
eyes
behind the bush
suck.
over there.
It was definitely on two legs.
Yes, it was walking.
Holy crap. Holy crap.
From a frightening encounter with a creature in the middle of nowhere in the woods of Oregon to a dedicated search for the legendary cryptid, despite what could prove to be a risk to one's life. Here are 10 of the scariest Bigfoot videos ever in 2024. Central Oregon Bigfoot. In this video depicting the strangest and most shocking experience with the legendary cryptid known as Bigfoot, we find that there may be no other place better to start with than this encounter that was experienced in the state of Oregon, USA. The people who experienced this scary encounter was a group of teenagers that just happened to spot this strange creature when they were making their way through the region. It was truly a shocking experience as they watched the creature alternate its movements by walking on all fours and walking on its two hind legs while making its way across this field. Don't take our word for it. Just take a look at the creature in the clip. We can all see as the teenagers seem pretty shaken by the odd creature running around erratically in the video. That said, there is still a hint of fun in the kids as they watch the creature carry out its strange movements. However, all fun and games come to an end when they decide that they are going to have some fun with the creature, as if that was a great idea to begin with. To be honest, what else can you expect from kids?
Oh yeah, I see it
Where?
right there.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, you're on it right now.
Right there. You see it right there? It's huge. See it over there? Right there. You see it walking?
Dude, that's on two legs.
Watch it. Get the flashlight on it.
Unfortunately, it seems like the creature was not messing around with them because once they caught its attention, it seemed to run straight at the group of kids. Fortunately for the kids though, the creature seemed happy enough to just give them a good scare. Once it saw that they were shaken out of their wits, it decided that it had had enough, so it wandered off, probably looking for another group of kids to put in their place. No wonder the kids felt that it must have been some weirdo skipping around in the woods as some sort of prank. As plausible as this may seem, it still leaves some room for questions, as we are left to wonder about what sort of human would be able to move on all fours like that. What do you guys think? Is it possible that this was Bigfoot? There's every chance that it isn't, especially as Bigfoot is known to be a bipedal creature. Please let us know if you think this is Bigfoot in the comment section, the sighting of the Bigfoot family in Utah. Next up, we travel back in time to 2011 where we join this YouTuber named Johnny. Back then, he perhaps gained some sort of infamy when he posted this video titled Bigfoot Sighting in Utah. Ordinarily, the sighting of one Bigfoot alone is a massive deal, especially as many have tried to produce evidence of the existence of this creature to no avail.
Okay, John. Nice.
However, Johnny would prove to have been exposed to something even more phenomenal when he and his friends and family went into the Utah mountains. It was while the group were in said mountains that Johnny seemed to notice three strange creatures. Looking for answers, Johnny believed that these creatures must be the members of a Bigfoot family. To be honest, it wasn't such a far-fetched conclusion. Just take a look at the first video of this large creature that he spotted lingering within the trees found on the snowy white Utah mountains. As Johnny and the group gathered their wits after spotting the first strange creature, they found that their time for recovery may not be enough. As soon, they would notice another Bigfoot watching them from the distance before disappearing into the snowy white landscape surrounding them. Such a terrifying moment for the group, especially as they may be in these creatures' natural habitat, and that may not fare well for them if the creatures decided to attack them. As they were coming to terms with the fact that they may be surrounded by multiple Sasquatches, Johnny and his group had to make some room for one more surprise, because soon they would find that they were in the presence of a third Bigfoot. However, unlike the other two, Johnny and his group believed this third Bigfoot to be injured due to how it was moving and Johnny's description of the creature. Going forward, Johnny would learn that this group of so-called Sasquatches may not be too unusual, as such erratic patterns of movement are not unusual when a group of Bigfoots are exposed to members of the public. As convincing as these clips may be, especially as they may not have been planned out by Johnny and his group of friends and family, who must have just wanted to have some fun in the mountains, it seems as though that there are many that believe that this must be a hoax. To be honest, we don't know what to tell you. Maybe you can head out to the snowy mountains in Utah to check things out for yourselves. Yellowstone Bigfoot. Awesome! This time, we head over to the Yellowstone National Park, where it was reported that a webcam located near the famous Old Faithful geyser has been making everyone question their beliefs as to whether or not Bigfoot is real. The video starts off normally enough. All we see are some of the captivating buffalo in the park making their way through the thick snow found at that time of the year. Before long, however, we noticed that there were some strange creatures in the footage. We can see them pacing among the buffalo, almost as though they were herding the wild animals. After some time, the rangers got hold of the footage and were left in awe. Eager to see if they could get some more information from the footage, they decided to zoom in. This led to several people confirming that this must be a group of Bigfoot or Sasquatches that must be living somewhere within the Yellowstone National Park. As encouraging as this may seem, the doubters came out of the woodwork to voice their dissent towards considering this to be proof that this creature truly exists. This time, however, it seemed as though the Bigfoot enthusiasts were ready for these naysayers. For starters, they claimed that there was no way that this was a hoax or a prank because there was no way that anyone would head out to Yellowstone Park in the midst of the freezing conditions that were found in the park during that time of the year. It would have been pure insanity to do that. Not only could the conditions render them useless, they could also have been injured by the geyser or the wild buffalo if they got too close to either of them. Aside from that, it looks as though the body proportions of the creature as well as their speed and pattern of movement also disputed what the dissenters had to say about the creatures that were recorded in the webcam footage. They just did not match those of humans, as not only were the arms and legs way too long to be that of a human being, the creatures were also just too tall to be any old human in a suit. There is also the fact that some experts in skiing have come out to say that the rapid movement of these creatures could not be attributed to skiing. Desperate to make a foothold, these dissenters attempted to claim that it could be CGI, but nobody was having any of that, especially as it would have been too difficult to film that with a live webcam. Despite disproving all the arguments of these dissenters, we have to admit that we cannot truly say that this is conclusive evidence that Bigfoot does exist. That said, until proven otherwise, we may just have to accept that this may be persuasive proof that Bigfoot may exist somewhere out there. Australian Bigfoot. In a bid to find some of the scariest footage of the legendary cryptid, we decided to see what the guys on Reddit had for us. This took us to a subreddit user that went by the name Haunted Luca. With the use of his body cam, he headed over to the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. There we followed the Reddit user as he came to a stop somewhere near a rocky area because he came across this strange old tent that seemed pitched up in the middle of nowhere. Hoping to get a better look, he moved closer. This would lead to him noticing something that was lurking in the bushes. Later on, viewers of this video would claim to notice this strange, massive creature that was lurking somewhere in the shadows. Soon after, a slow-motion mode of the video would reveal even more details of this scary creature that was hiding in the bushes nearby. Afterwards, the hiker prepared himself as he recorded a second video. This time, it looked as though he was trying to lure this creature out because he made attempts to leave a trail of bread behind him. Well, it seemed as though he got exactly what he was looking for, because before long, he noticed that again, there was this strange creature that was watching him from behind the thick bushes in the area. Understandably, the Reddit user as well as others who may have come across the video have come to believe that this must be one strange cryptid or the other. Some were certain that he was a yowie, the Australian version of Bigfoot. Much like our North American cryptid, the yowie is said to be large and ape-like. Aside from that though, it is known to stink up a joint thanks to the bad odor that it emits as it makes its way through the thick foliage found in some parts of the land down under. Is there a chance that this hiker actually ran into it? Well, as far as we know, there are many strange creatures that call Australia home. Why can't a cryptid such as this be one of them? Reddit Bigfoot. To make things more exciting, we are going to take a look at the footage that was recorded by a Reddit user known as Truth is Fiction. His footage was taken from the YouTube documentary known as The Great North. In this video, we can see the amazing footage of a large herd of caribou as they made their way through a large body of water. This was something so scenic, it could have been perfect in a Discovery Channel or National Geographic documentary with David Attenborough doing the commentary. As amazing as this footage was, our Reddit user and many who would come across the footage afterwards will notice that there was this odd figure in the footage amid the caribou. In fact, you can take notice of this strange figure just 4 seconds into the clip. It can be seen walking close to the caribou for some moments before it ultimately disappeared out of the picture. Understandably, there were many who were hoping to get some sort of an answer. Looking at the type of animal that was in the footage, there was no way this was a shepherd or a farmhand taking care of its flock, as these were wild animals. As a result, there were many that were ready to accept that this must have been Bigfoot. What do you guys think? Is it possible that this documentary accidentally recorded footage of the legendary cryptid? Please let us know what you think in the comment section. Provo Bigfoot. Looks like 2012 was a big year for Bigfoot sightings. Aside from Todd Standing's personal mission to find this legendary creature in the wild, we'd find that this YouTuber called Beardcard also had his own personal encounter with the strange cryptid. This encounter occurred when the YouTuber decided to go out camping with a group of friends in Utah. Things got interesting when they spotted some deer grazing nearby. Eager to get a better look at the beautiful creatures, they tried to get closer to them. Alas, the group would find that they accidentally got closer to something else instead. Before long, the group realized that they were being watched by something massive in the distance. Initially thinking it was a bear, they decided that it may be best to avoid this creature that was lurking in the distance. However, as time went on, the group started to believe that maybe this wasn't a bear, especially after it stood straight on its 2 legs. Frightened out of their wits, the group ran off, hoping that the creature was not coming after them. Luckily enough, they made it back to safety before posting this clip of the strange creature online. What do you guys think? Could this be the legendary Bigfoot? Please let us know in the comment section. North Carolina Bigfoot. Next up, we head over to North Carolina so that we can look at this footage that was recorded in the summer of 2016. The recorder was this man who just wanted to go for a walk with his pet dog in the middle of the woods. Hopefully, they got to enjoy the wonders of nature for a while, because before long, their attention was grabbed by what could only be described as blood-curdling screams that were ringing out from a distance somewhere in those woods. Understandably, this was an unnerving moment for the man and his dog. Who wants to be listening to all of that in the middle of nowhere? Just listen to the footage for yourselves. What do you guys think? Could that be the screams of a Bigfoot? Pennsylvania Bigfoot. We zoom off from North Carolina to head over to Pennsylvania, where we learn about this man who had this strange encounter right outside his very own home. All he was doing at the time was taking a walk along the railroad tracks close to his home in Bell Valley, a well-known suburb in the area. At some point, he figured he needed a break from this walk, so he went into the woods so that he could find a stump or a fallen tree to take a break on. Little did he know that he would have an encounter out there in the woods. Well, before long, this encounter will occur when he notices this huge, upright figure standing about 30 yards away from him in said woods. Shaken to his core, this man somehow had the wherewithal to pull out his mobile device so that he could start recording what was standing before him in the middle of nowhere. This would prove to be the triggering moment, because the creature ran off as if it actually knew that it was being recorded by the man. Despite how shocking the moment must have been for the man, he was able to recall that the creature seemed to move with shocking speed. It proved to be so fast that it didn't take long for it to lose the man to the thick trees found in the forest. Looking for answers, the man had to admit that he could not be sure about what he witnessed. He wasn't sure if this was some weirdo lurking around in the woods, or if this was the real Bigfoot wandering around in these woods in Pennsylvania. Such is the mysterious nature surrounding the search for the Bigfoot. Just take a look at the footage and tell us if this was Bigfoot or not Cleveland Bigfoot. Let's take a look at what this man experienced when he was just taking a walk near his home back in May 2022. This walk changed into something a lot more interesting when he just happened to come across this odd, hairy, humanoid creature somewhere along the way.
What the? He's like, hey. What the hell is that?
Just take a look at the footage that he recorded while he was out there. Large, black, and hairy, it was understandable that the creature scared the man right out of its skin when it seemed to run at him for a moment or two. Luckily, the erratic creature decided to scurry away instead of pouncing on the man like other wild creatures would have in the same situation. What do you guys think? Is there any chance that this man just happened to run into the legendary creature while taking an innocent walk in one of the woods in Cleveland? Please let us know what you think in the comment section. Researchers' fascinating discovery. For our next strange encounter, we take a trip back in time to 2012. It must be said that although this footage has been in existence for more than a decade now, it hasn't been seen by as many people as the other clips shown in this video. That said, those who may have had the chance to look at it have considered it to be one of the most convincing pieces of evidence ever captured that suggests that Bigfoot truly exists. It all came to be when Todd Standing, a dedicated cryptid researcher and explorer, decided that he had had enough of the controversy. He was going to prove that Bigfoot truly existed once and for all. Following some hard work and research, he came to the conclusion that there was a community of Bigfoot that were living in one of the most remote woods or forests on the planet, and he was going to do all he could to get them on camera. After coming to this conclusion, he decided to go out into the world so that he could get the footage he desired. Sure, the road was going to be long and hard, but that is the fate of any cryptid researcher hoping to prove that Bigfoot is real. Over time, it looked as though his efforts actually paid off because he was able to record one of the most fascinating footage ever when it comes to this search for the legendary cryptid. Just look at the face of the creature that was captured in this video. It is actually enough to take your breath away. With its small eyes and its thick fur, you could almost forgive Todd and many others watching this video for believing that the creature is timid. However, we cannot be distracted from the fact that this is no mere creature. Thankfully, Todd was able to navigate his way around the creature well enough to get more images and videos of the strange creature. In fact, it seemed as though he was able to get recordings of multiple Bigfoot creatures while he was out there.
Come out and experience what I've seen, you will be a believer. You don't need to see film. You don't need to have hair come back, analyze the DNA unknown primate. You will realize really fast, bears don't do that.
Unfortunately, his recording session would come to an end when the creatures noticed him. This was all due to this bird that landed close to him, thereby drawing their attention to him. Frightened for his safety, Todd saw it fit to take his leave. This seemed to be a great decision because as he ran away, he noticed that a boulder was rolling after him. They even chucked a giant log at him, as though they were making a final point that he was not welcome there at all. Imagine if these creatures actually got their hands on him. That would have been a terrible fate for Mr. Todd. Thankfully, he was able to make his way out of there, even though it took him several hours to do so. Now he has what could prove to be the best evidence ever when it comes to the proof of the existence of this legendary creature. So far, the dissenters have not been able to poke their usual holes in the video. With any luck, this could actually show the world that Bigfoot is surely out there. What do you guys think? Please let us know what you think about the video in the comment section. From a frightening encounter with a creature in the middle of nowhere in the woods of Oregon to a dedicated search for the legendary cryptid, despite what could prove to be a risk to one's life, here are 10 of the scariest Bigfoot videos ever in 2024.